What's up, world? This is Mig. I got my co-host, Regular Ruben, with me, and you are now watching the first ever world premiere inaugural Decent Coin podcast, man. Welcome to the show, Ruben, brother. How are you doing, man? How's it feel?
I'm fantastic, man. Life is great. Positive energy. I feel fantastic, man.
Yes, sir. Well, man, we want to thank everybody that's rocking with us right now. You know, we had a goal of getting to 100 subscribers on YouTube before we debuted, and I think we're at like 115 right now. So thank you, everybody that's supporting and retweeting and spreading the word. It's our first ever episode, so we are going to get into the news. Usually, we're just going to talk about the news from the past week, but because this is our first ever episode, I want to start by going a little bit further back than a week ago. Everybody's excited to get their $1,400. Maybe you already got $1,400 if you qualify for it. If you don't, man, I'm praying it's in the mail for you soon. But one thing that I think that the news, right, is not talking about a lot with the stimmy is if you think about your dollars, right? Let's say you have $1,400 under your mattress, okay, right now. If they're just printing more dollars, what does that do to the value of the dollars you already have, right? If you have a Michael Jordan rookie card, right, and there's only 1,400 of them in the world, I'm just making up numbers, and then they print another 1,400 of them, what does that do to the value of your Michael Jordan rookie card? It's with anything, right? There's a relationship between the scarcity or the availability of something and its value, okay? So this dude right here, Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, and there's a guy at the Federal Reserve, he's the chairman, his name is Jerome Powell. They're the people that print the money, okay? They have their finger on the trigger of the money printer, all right? When the government says we need $1,400 checks for the people, these are the folks that go into the computer and they press the button so that money appears out of thin air. There's nothing tied to those dollars. They don't have to go dig up gold out of the earth, or, you know, they don't have to go mine for some silver in the ocean or anything like that. They just print it. It's just paper. That's all it is, right? And nowadays it's not even paper. It's literally just a number on a computer screen. So this dude, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he's telling you about a week ago, on March 22nd, he's telling you Bitcoin is more like gold than the dollar. Right? So what's the difference? What does that mean? Well, he can't print more gold, okay? He can only print more dollars. That's what he does. That's what he gets paid to do, is he prints more dollars, which makes your dollars worth less than they were worth yesterday. They have less purchasing power than they had yesterday. That's why it costs more to buy a house right now than it's ever cost before. That's why it costs more to buy most stocks, especially the stocks you would want to have, like a Tesla stock or this. That's why a lot of those stocks are like crazy expensive now compared to what they were a couple of years ago, right? Because everybody is getting dollars. Everybody's getting dollars sent to them, right? Because they don't have any other solution, right? So this is important. This is a big idea. So we're going to have an episode soon where we just talk all about Bitcoin. This is not that episode, but I want to introduce this concept that Bitcoin is digital gold, okay? And that's another big reason I want to do this show. I got smart people, smart friends that went to good schools, good parents, all this stuff. And they're talking to me about how Bitcoin is a scam and whatnot. I'm praying for you. If that's how you feel, I'm really praying for you. The dollar is the scam. Okay, that's the game right there. The dollar is the scam because they can make it. They print it out of thin air. As long as there are trees, they can make more dollars. Okay, they can't make more Bitcoin than what is programmed into the computer code that created Bitcoin. So that's a concept I need you all to walk away with after this episode. Next thing we want to show you. Now, like I said, we're going to go back. We're going to go back in time a little bit because this is our first episode. We didn't have a show back in November. We didn't have a show back in December. But I want to show you that just a couple months ago, Citibank. You ever heard of Citibank? Ruben, I know they still got Citibank in Chicago, right? I left Chicago, but I know Citibank.
Yo, dog, I think I ran up a credit card, never paid it, so I'm familiar.
They're coming for you, bro. I don't know if anybody from Citibank will watch this podcast. Probably not.
Bro. I took care of them, bro. I was like, I'll give you half, man.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good.
They was like,
That's some game right there too, by the way. We might have to have an episode where, like, if you're buried in credit card debt, man, there's some games, there's some game that you can learn, right? I saw Ruben tweeting about how credit scores are a scam. They are a scam. We might have to have a whole episode about how your credit score is a scam. And these credit card companies, you know, they talk tough, but as soon as that money stops coming in, they start to they get ready to negotiate pretty quick,
oh
actually.
yeah.
We'll talk about that. You know, one other thing we forgot to say, I don't know if I said it or not. Help us understand what content, what we talk about is valuable to you and what isn't. Leave comments, tweet at us, email us, etc. Because we want to make content that you find valuable. But getting back to this, Citibank, you know, all these banks, they have everyday investors that go in and cash their paycheck from their every 2 weeks. They have customers that go in there and use the ATM, and then they have customers that have millions and millions of dollars with them, and they call them big fancy words like accredited investors and things like that. And that's who they give the real game to. That's who they put on their, you know, their very VIP email lists, where they spend money doing all sorts of research to give them a heads up about what trends to look out for, what stocks to watch out for, what things to invest in, so that they get in early and the rich get richer. And then, you know, the common man comes in when it's time for them to cash out, right? They're telling their richest customers that Bitcoin could jump up to $300,000 by the end of 2021. This was in November, okay? I don't even know what the price of Bitcoin was in November. I should have looked it up. You guys can look it up on your own. Right now, it's about 60 grand, okay? And I'm pretty sure it was not at 60 grand back in November. So what does this mean for the rest of the year? Who knows? We're going to find out. Time will tell.
It was like 18, bro, I think, man.
18. Let us know, Ruben. That it probably was. It probably was, you know, something like that. And then a few weeks later, in December, a guy at Guggenheim. Maybe you're like, what is Guggenheim? Isn't that a museum? Guggenheim is a museum, but it's also an investment company. If you look them up on Google right now, look them up on Wikipedia right now. They manage almost $300 billion of investment money for very rich investors, okay? They have a lot of money. They do a lot of research. Their guy, Scott Menard, is saying Bitcoin should be worth $400,000. And he didn't say it should be worth $400,000 in a year or in 10 years or in 20 years. He's saying right now, well, in December, a few months ago, it should be worth $400,000. Why? Why would he say that, Ruben? Why would he say that?
You know, man, like they have way more financial knowledge than we do, and they kind of see where the money should be and where it's going to go. So you know, they know a little bit more than us. Maybe it's a little bit of him also having invested money and he want to run it up a little bit.
Right.
Which is smart, man, which is smart. You know, you get out here, you have a position, you have a title. If you're not going to get locked up for it, run it up.
And you know what they do, Ruben? You got to watch what these people do, not what they say. All right. Because for years, they told people, oh, Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is rat poison. Bitcoin has no value. And you know what they were probably doing after they got off camera and telling the world that?
Buy.
They were smashing that buy button, bro.
Cop.
And now they're ready. Now they're ready to come on camera and say, you know what? You know what? Actually,
got a couple billion there. You know,
yeah,
some slight.
Go on ahead and run it up. You know, common man. You know, after you get off your shift, go on ahead and buy some because I already got mine. All right, let's take them to just a couple weeks ago, March 17th. Morgan Stanley. I know somebody watching heard of Morgan Stanley. They're getting ready to become the first big US bank to offer their wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. Okay. This is going to be major. Right now, when you're buying Bitcoin and you have to go through some app like Coinbase or some app like Cash App or even PayPal or Robinhood, first of all, it's a huge deal that all those apps offer it now. A couple of years ago, you couldn't get Bitcoin on Cash App. You couldn't get Bitcoin on PayPal. That would be crazy. Okay. Now you can do that, which means it's easier, which means more people are doing it, which means the price is going up. What happens when Morgan Stanley starts selling you Bitcoin? Well, one thing that's going to happen is every other bank is going to have to figure out how the hell they can sell you some Bitcoin. And all that does is it's just going to open the flood doors, okay? Goldman Sachs. This is yesterday, Wednesday, March 31st. By the way, we're recording this on April Fool's. We're not going to post it on April Fool's, but we're going to post it probably on April 2nd, which is Friday. It's probably going to be a Friday show every week. So this is a day or two ago, depending on when you see this video. Goldman Sachs getting ready to do the same thing. It's going to be dominoes, Ruben. What do you think? You think Bank of America saw this headline, or you think they didn't see this headline?
I'm sure they got plans already in the making, man. Everybody's
Right?
gonna get into it. They're all gonna they're gonna blow it up, man. They're gonna run it up.
Absolutely, no doubt. Another Goldman Sachs headline. This was from a week ago. A week ago, they filed for an ETF. It was a couple other big companies that filed for an ETF too. I can't even remember. I should have had it committed to memory, but I forgot. Just Google.
Canada started that, kicked it off.
Canada's got 2 ETFs already. The first 2 North American Bitcoin ETFs that just launched. Now, I told you we're going to make this for accessible to beginners. All right. So you might be saying, what is an ETF? Don't come at me with this alphabet soup. An ETF is an exchange traded fund. It really doesn't matter. You don't need to know the letters. You don't need to know the name. What it means is they're going to make it easier to buy Bitcoin, and they're going to put it on exchanges just like the stock market. So just as easily as you can buy a stock with the press of a button on almost any stock buying app, they're going to make it that easy on almost any app or website where you can buy stocks. Right now, you can do it on some. You can buy Bitcoin on PayPal. You can buy Bitcoin on Robinhood, Cash App. Some of those apps also sell stocks, but they want to make it so that any app or website that sells stocks will sell you something that matches the price of Bitcoin. So when the price of Bitcoin goes up, your value goes up, and you can sell it for a profit. So that's coming. I'm not, I don't know how much we're going to make predictions on this show, but I'm telling you, I have a feeling it's coming this year. I have a feeling more than one of them is coming this year. So you're going to have more than one option when you open your stock app to figure out which one of these funds that's tied to the Bitcoin price do I want to buy and invest in. When that happens, what happens to the price of Bitcoin? It might go up. It might go up a lot.
What you don't want to do, you don't want to have paper hands.
What do you mean by that, Ruben? What's paper hands?
So if you buy a stock and it goes up, awesome, right? You see it go down, you're losing a little bit of money, you sell it. And you
Right.
sell it at a loss because you think it's going to go all the way down to zero and you're going to lose all your money. That's paper hands. You're panicking. You scary as hell. Like, you don't want to be like that. You want to have diamond hands.
Diamond hands. And what's, what's important too? It's about believing. If you're going to invest in something, do it because you've done your research, not because me and Ruben told you. We're just 2 guys on YouTube, okay? But we're just trying to show you some things that might inspire you to do more research. Okay, do your own research. That's a big phrase we're going to say on the show. Do your own research. And when you invest in something, invest in it because you know about it, you researched it, and you believe in it. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to have diamond hands, like Ruben's talking about. When the price goes down, which is going to happen sometimes, then you're going to know because, hey, I researched this. I have a reason that I believe in this. That's how you get diamond hands, in my opinion. Also, we'll talk about this more, but you want to buy low and sell high. Okay, you don't want to buy when the price is higher than it's ever been before. Usually, okay. Now there's always exceptions to the rule, but usually you want to buy low and you want to sell high.
Definitely, and probably want to leave them a couple tips too.
Yeah.
When you start, I call it going, all the way in. I don't want to get crazy with the wording, but when you start, just put money in that you're willing to lose, whether
No
that's
doubt.
$100, $500, $10. Consider it gone. Leave it in there, let it mature, let it do its thing, let it work for you. Um,
And you mean in general or Bitcoin specifically? Because Bitcoin is very volatile.
I want to say Bitcoin specifically. That's my strategy.
Yeah, I feel that.
You want to get to a point where it's a little difficult now, but it's gonna happen where you double your money and then you're gonna cruise after that because you're gonna look at it, you're gonna say, well, this is never gonna drop 50%. So I'm gonna be up from now on.
I love that. I love the idea of taking little bites, don't rush in. And I'm going to tell you from my experience, I rushed in back in 2017. I saw Bitcoin going crazy and nobody told, I didn't have a finance background. I didn't have parents that invested in any stocks, you know what I mean? Any kind of markets really. And I rushed in and I did not take little bites. I put in more than I was prepared to lose. And it went down and it went down a lot. And I waited patiently and I bought more and I bought more as it went down because I had done my research and I believed in it. I had just mistimed it. And thankfully now I'm really glad, that I stuck with it and I had diamond hands and I bought more. But I put myself through a lot of emotional roller coasters that I didn't need to go through. If somebody had just told me, buy a little bit each day or buy a little bit each week or buy a little bit each month, that way, you're averaging out when the price goes up and the price goes down. They call that dollar cost averaging. If you want to learn more about that, Google dollar cost averaging.
I
And
have
if you
paper hands.
had paper hands, you sold for a loss.
Hey, look, yeah. I was like, man, I'm out. This is crazy. It tanked. I'm out of here. Peace. What is
Right.
Bitcoin? Don't talk to me about it.
Well, hey, if this conversation is helpful to you, if you want to hear more about like strategies for how to get into Bitcoin, let us know in the comments, tweet at us, because I have a feeling that's the type of conversation that'll be helpful for folks, and we might need to do a whole episode on it. So let us know. This is news from just a couple of days ago, this past week, March 30th. PayPal launches crypto checkout services. Now, guess what happened probably, I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that, that really helped kickstart Bitcoin's rise in price? PayPal, just in the past 6 months or so, they started selling Bitcoin. Okay, that was a huge deal, huge deal. You know why? Because almost everybody has used PayPal in some way, shape, or form. Most of our parents know what PayPal is. They might not know what Cash App is. They might not know what Venmo is, but PayPal is like crazy. I mean, they serve 29 million merchants. All right, or at least that's how many they're saying they'll be enabling crypto purchases with. Okay, how many websites, how many fitted caps have you bought, Ruben, where you had the option to pay with PayPal? It's probably a lot.
I prefer to pay everything in PayPal.
And so now all those websites, 29 million in the coming months. It doesn't say coming years. It's not saying in 2025. In the coming months, bro.
Summer, possibly, like
summer, bro.
Here.
It's coming, bro. And it's Bitcoin, a few other cryptocurrencies as well. But you know what? I just want to rewind a second. Remember what this guy told you, man. This guy knows something. Okay. He's telling you your Bitcoin is more like gold than it is dollars. So if you're asking me, and this is not financial advice, I forgot to mention that too. We don't give financial advice on this show, but think carefully about, if you have some Bitcoin, think very carefully about whether you want to spend it on some fitted caps, or if you want to buy a Tesla with it, or if you want to spend it at all. In my opinion, it's a reason that these merchants are going to want your Bitcoin. And it's because they know that there's a limited supply of Bitcoin and there's an unlimited supply of dollars. That's my opinion.
If you look at a couple of and I won't give the example because it's like a website that I use for movies that I'm not supposed to. But they're a little bit ahead of the game. They've been charging they let you pay with Bitcoin for quite a while now, and they give you a 10% discount.
Right.
Now why is somebody going to take a 10% discount on a service?
Exactly.
Because they know they're going to make it back 3, 4, 5 times.
That's a major key, bro, and that's coming. I mean, that type of discounts, that's next. First, they open up the lane so that you can pay, and then they're gonna incentivize you to give up your Bitcoin. No doubt about it. I don't have a tab open here. I didn't pull it up to cover the news, but you better believe Bitcoin rewards are coming to credit cards real soon too. There's already been news about that. I forget which exact companies, but that's coming too. So if you're tracking, we've been talking about a lot of major financial institutions, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Guggenheim, PayPal. But let's talk about pop culture. Let's talk about everyday retail, fast food, quick serve restaurants. This is just a couple days ago. Chipotle's running marketing campaigns, giving away Bitcoins. Okay. I mean, I work in advertising. I remember having a conversation with a brand, a competitor at Chipotle, cough, cough, that I was telling them a year and a half ago, you need a Bitcoin strategy. You need a crypto strategy. You need to be accepting Bitcoin and crypto. Well, I don't know if they're working on it or not, but Chipotle's on it, bro. And I'm not telling you to eat at Chipotle, by the way. I don't eat at Chipotle. You only get, I got a 3-strike rule with the E. coli and stuff. You get 3 strikes, you're out.
I like it.
You like what? You eat Chipotle?
I like Chipotle, bro.
Come on, bro.
Look, dog. Look.
I have to reevaluate this whole
ingredients. Fresh ingredients, and I believe that the E. coli stuff was sabotage.
You believe it was? You think? What's his name? You think Ronald the clown was in there sprinkling some E. coli in the factory?
Yeah, bro.
Ronald McDonald.
He was in there spraying that like salt bay, bro.
Actually, doesn't McDonald's own Chipotle or something like that? I don't even know.
They did, okay. And then they got a lot of backlash from consumers, and then they sold it back.
Anyways, bro, man, I gotta talk you out of this, man. This is
look, bro.
This is a bad look for the show, man.
Hey, look,
I can't.
Look, I'm Mexican, dog. I eat tacos all day, bro. I will make a tortilla upstairs, bro, out of fucking corn. I will, you know what I'm saying, bro? I'll roll the corn up, like. But no. But in all seriousness, like, I like it, bro.
Look, let me say something. In all seriousness, I do not eat Chipotle. I have not eaten Chipotle in many years, probably since I was at Loyola Chicago. But if you want to sponsor the show, I'll do a taste test. I'll give you guys a second chance. All right. So info@decentcoin.net. Get at us. If the price is right, I will try a burrito bowl. Give it another chance.
They got carne asada now, bro.
Come on, bro. We got to move on.
Fire.
You're wild, bro. All right, so we're talking about pop culture, okay? Now, we've mentioned NFTs. We mentioned NFTs at the beginning of the show. I'm sure we have some people in the audience that are watching this show because I've been talking about NFTs on Twitter and stuff, and they want to know what it's all about. We're going to explain it in our interview. Our interview is coming up with a really special guest, Prob Cause, and he's killing the NFT game right now. So stay tuned. We're going to really break it down. But what I want to show you is just this past Saturday, which I don't know if this is the right date, but this story is from March 28th. But this past Saturday, man, SNL put out a rap video explaining what NFTs are. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I did not watch this video because I cannot stand Pete Davidson. I've never seen him be funny in my life. I challenge anybody, if there's a video of him being funny, send it to me at Migmora. I want to see it, but I've never seen that video, and I'm confident this video is not that. But I'm sharing this because apparently they made a rap video, him and Jack Harlow, explaining what NFTs are. And I don't even mess with Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live is trash to me, bro. It's propaganda and it's never funny. But I'm just saying, when something hits SNL, when they do a 3, 4, 5-minute sketch about something, a new technology, like that means your parents now might know what an NFT is. And that means if you don't know, you are late and you got to catch up. That's why I share this. Did you watch it? You watched it, Ruben?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it one time all the way through, and then another time like halfway.
Did you laugh?
It's pretty goofy, It's Saturday Night Live comedy. It's just goofy, you know. Some people's gonna like it.
But did
I
you
like
laugh?
whatever. Nah, really, man. You know, I'm more of like I like to roast people and people get roasted. Or like this was like it was cool. It was all right. You know,
Okay.
good job, guys. Cool. You know, whatever. But about Pete Davidson, I actually watched this movie, King of Staten Island.
Come on, bro.
Good movie. It's like kind of like about his. It's not
You
a
had
funny
some.
movie. It's
Let
not a
me.
funny movie. Per se, it's more about his life. It was pretty good. I thought it was gonna be kind of dumb, but
Were you?
uh,
Did you have Chipotle while you were eating? While you were watching the movie?
possibly, you know,
Come
maybe
on,
I don't
bro.
know. You know,
We got to get.
double
Come on,
trouble,
bro.
bro.
Come on, bro. You're supposed to be a tastemaker. All right. Come on,
Am I letting my fellow Latinos down?
bro. You letting the world down right now, man.
Vote in the comments.
Yeah. Let me know in the comments the last time you ate Chipotle. And if you ate Chipotle in the past 5 years, I need you to unsubscribe from the channel. I'm playing. Don't do that. Don't
Hey,
do
if you ate Chipotle and if you see me around a Chipotle, it's Chipotle on me. I got you. You gonna stop the
that.
hate?
Wild. Wild. The show Ruben's opinions are his own. If you see him around a Chipotle, he does not speak for the show when he's within 3 blocks of a Chipotle.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, so we told you we're going to get into NFTs. We're going to really break it down in the second half of the show with Prob Cause. You do not want to miss it. We actually filmed that interview a week or so ago because, like I said, we're late to drop in this debut episode. It's a really great interview. I promise you that. I didn't even have time to get a haircut for that interview, so you're going to see me looking kind of bogus. But we talk about NFTs. One use case, one example of an NFT is NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot is making digital basketball cards, basically, except it's not a still picture, it's not a photo, it's a video, a GIF, a looping video of highlights. Okay, they call them moments. They're called NBA Top Shot moments instead of calling them basketball cards. The company behind it is called Dapper Labs. They just got they just got $305 million in funding. Some of that money is coming from former NBA players, including the one and only Michael Jordan. They've rung up $500 million in sales. And guess what? They're still in beta. If you go to NBATopShot.com, the site is still in beta. What that means is they're still testing to make sure that they're ready to go mainstream. And the biggest problem they've had is they've had way too much traffic and way too many people trying to use the site, and the site has crashed and had issues like that. That's the biggest problem they've had. Other than that, they've made $500 million. If you think for a second that every major entertainment company, every major sports league in the world is not going to be doing this as fast as possible, I promise you're wrong. Disney sees this. You think Disney doesn't want to sell Star Wars cards? You remember the nerdy kids at school like me? They used to sit at the lunch table and trade Star Wars cards or Magic the Gathering cards. You think Disney doesn't want to do that? They want to do that, but they want to do it digitally, because when they do it digitally, guess what, Ruben? They can get paid not only when they sell it the first time to a nerd like me, but they can get paid a second time when I sell it to somebody else. And they can get paid a third time when that person sells it to somebody else. And it's going to be revolutionary. You don't want to miss our interview with Prob Cause. We're going to talk about all that. And I'm telling you, every entertainment company is going to do this. Funko, you might have some of these little collectible toys sitting around. You might have cousins, nieces, nephews, kids, whatever. They collect these. They're pretty cool, actually. I like them. They make them of basketball players. They make them of cartoon characters. They make them of almost anything you can think of. The little collectible toys, they're big, all right? And some of them are really valuable. They're collectibles. They're going to be making NFTs. They're going to be making digital versions of them. I'm telling you, man, when Disney comes out, bro, that's going to be major. So what else can an NFT be used for? Like I said, stick around for the second half. We're going to talk a lot about NFTs with Prob Cause. But this guy, Mark Cuban, he wants to turn NBA basketball game tickets into NFTs. All right. I'll give you a little spoiler. I think the best way to think of an NFT is a certificate of authenticity, a digital certificate of authenticity. We're going to talk about it with Prob Cause, and it's going to be every ticket you ever buy pretty soon. Once live events start popping off again, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, they're going to, every ticket that you can buy to a live event pretty soon is going to be an NFT. They're collectible. Look, physical tickets. I had the luxury of going to the Super Bowl a few years ago. All right. I keep the ticket. I have a shoebox full of tickets to concerts I've been to, memories I made, you know, dates that I went on with my fiance, things like that, right? Where we bought a ticket and I kept the ticket as a souvenir. Guess what? A digital ticket, you don't have to worry about it degrading. You don't have to worry about wear and tear. You don't have to worry about it getting, you know, damaged. And the Dallas Mavericks, if they start doing this, they can get a cut if I decide to later sell that souvenir. So it's a big, big deal.
Yeah, and imagine the possibilities of not only having a ticket, but maybe later on during that week after the game, they insert highlights in there, you know, like
Exclusive content. Oh, you wanna be on you wanna speak to Mark Cuban? You wanna be on a Zoom call, have 5 minutes to talk to Mark Cuban, pitch him your Shark Tank idea? Guess what? If you bought a front court ticket to a Mavs game this season, it's an NFT, and we're gonna do that. So the possibilities are endless and absolutely endless. So with that, we're going over time. We did not mean to actually talk as long as we've been talking, because I'm telling you, this Prob Cause interview is great. You do not want to miss it. He drops a lot of gems, especially if you're an artist. If you're an artist, you're interested in starting to make NFTs, this guy has it down pat. He knows what he's doing. So we're going to get into that real quick, but there's 2 projects we want to share that we're both excited about in the NFT world before we get into the Prob Cause interview. First one, the Cool Kids, man. This is like ringing bells. If you're from our era, if you were coming up in Chicago when Ruben and I were, this is like, you know, this is your favorite. These are your favorite rappers' favorite rappers. These are originators, innovators. You know, they brought in, you know, the snapbacks. They brought in the trucker gear. They brought in the skinny jeans. They brought in the bikes with the pedals doing wheelies on all that stuff, man. These guys are legendary in Chicago. They partnered with a really dope artist, Zeitweitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm actually not 100% sure if I've been pronouncing it correctly, but she's a dope artist. I believe she is from Chicago and now she lives in LA. And they did this dope project. I love it because they took photos, or she took photos of the Cool Kids, and then she used artificial intelligence to actually make the photos rap. So this is a clip from their song Black Mags. I'm not going to play it because it'll be too much with us talking over it, but they're rapping Black Mags here, and this is based off of a photo combined with artificial intelligence. It's real dope. The bid, I'm telling you, is really not bad right now. You can see I was bidding on it. I'm taking a break on bidding on it right now. This means basically an Ethereum, a wrapped Ethereum. So it's 0.41 Ethereum. That's about maybe like $800 or something like that. You know, that might sound like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. You can do a lot with $800, but these guys are legends in music history. And as far as I know, this is their first NFT. So check that out. And I'm going to give you some free game that I don't even think you know, Ruben. And this is at my detriment because I bid on a couple other pieces here. There's not just one piece here. And I think a lot of people don't know this. If you go to Zeitweitz's page, it's Zora.co/Zeitweitz. She's got 4 pieces from this collection. One is to celebrate the life of a mutual friend of the artist and the Cool Kids that passed. That's this one. If you need me, I'll be in space. And then she's also got an individual portrait of Chuck English and Sir Michael Rocks. And these ones, I mean, I shouldn't be sharing this. All right. I'm sharing this out of love because I know this deserves more attention than it's getting right now. I have the high bid right now at 0.05 Ethereum. That's probably, I don't know. I don't have a calculator, 150, $200, something like that. It's worth more than that. So word to the wise. Sir Michael Rocks, I placed a bid. Somebody outbid me, but it's only 0.1 ETH right now. That's definitely like $200. So If you're looking to collect something that might have some historical value, might be a worthwhile collectible, and if you're a music fan, especially if you're a hip hop fan, check this out. And if you don't know who the cool kids are, thank you for checking out our channel, youngster. We appreciate you, and we hope that we have something valuable for you, us old guys. Oh, Ruben, anything you want to say on that before we move on to the next project?
Nah, man, just thank you for tuning in.
Well, we got one more. We got one more thing we're going to show them before we.
Oh, we're gonna do that? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do one more thing. I know we ran over time, but also want to call out our guy Kyle Lemire, another incredible photographer doing something really innovative. You can check this out if you go to, I'm going to show you. You just type this nativeamericanlife.com and it'll bring you right here. And this nativeamericanlife.com, he's a photographer. He has an incredible story. You can read about these 3 Native American sisters from Oregon that he befriended. They tell their story. It's really their story, their words on the walls. And you can see that throughout the gallery, he's got all these beautiful photos, but it's not just photos. He also did some really cool stuff mixing photo and video. So you see like the clouds moving, you see birds flying in the background, and it's really epic, beautiful mixture of photography and video. There's some cool music playing from their tribe as well. So it's a story that needs to be told, and an underrepresented story. So check that out, thisnativeamericanlife.com. Those are just some NFTs that we are personally fans of. And with that, that concludes the first half of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the Prob Cause interview coming up next. Ruben, any thoughts before we kick it over to our interview with Prob?
Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Leave any questions in the comments section. And yeah, should I stop eating Chipotle or should I continue? I feel like
y'all. Let's talk some sense into our guy, please, for the good of the show.
I like Saca Tacos too, though. You know what I mean?
See, man, we're about to get hate mail, man. You can't even compare it. Don't even compare anything to Chipotle, bro.
I could fight, man, so it's all good.
Wow. All right, y'all. Well, that's not how I expected the first half of the show to go, but stay tuned. We got a great interview coming up. We'll see you on the other half.
Peace.
All right, everybody. The first guest in the history of the Decent Coin podcast is an accomplished and established rapper, DJ, producer, designer, animator, painter, author, and an overall innovator. And I'm really, really proud to introduce our good friend and first ever guest, Prob Cause from Chicago, Illinois. Prob, what's going on, brother? How you been?
Yeah. Can y'all have like air horns to that intro?
Bro. Did I forget anything?
I feel like that covered most of it.
The most of it, right? Like there's a couple of things I probably forgot, but man, it's great to see you, brother. How's Chicago? How have you been? Haven't talked to you live, in a long time. How's the lockdown treating you?
It's cool, man. Chicago's cold, nothing out the blue. Nice rainy day today. But yeah, lockdown's been good. I just been working in the studio all day, all night, man. So I don't mind the lockdown so much.
Bro, I know you've been working. So you're working on new music. We're going to talk about new music. You've been working on a lot of visual art. Like I said, you're an amazing animator and illustrator. So we see the work, and anybody that's not following Prob on Twitter, check him out at Prob Cause. Very easy to find. And I want to start, brother. I want to ask you about your Moonflower EP. You put out it's a 4-track, right? 4-track EP back in October. It's produced by a guy goes by the name of Cloud Chord. There it is. Cloud Chord is a Emmy-nominated producer. Tell us about Cloud Chord, man. I was not super familiar, but when I listened to it, it's super dope.
Yeah, he's like he's been a producer for a while, kind of in the electronic scene, more like vaporwave, down tempo kind of vibe. People would call his beats lo-fi beats now, but they're basically just like hip hop instrumentals. He plays a bunch of instruments. Guitar is his main instrument. He plays like the slide guitar. That's kind of like his signature sound. Just a really dope dude, dope musician. I've never actually hung out with him in person, I don't think, but we have a lot of the same friends. He had sent me some beats that were really cool, really minimal. I liked how my voice sounded on them, and that one track turned into 4.
It's very
Yeah.
soulful and very jazzy, man. I felt like, you know, it's very hip hop for sure, but I don't know, just the jazz vibes were really cool, but very fresh. You know, I really dug it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
So I want to ask you, bro, because right now you got vinyls online, right? People can still, if they want to have something physical like the one you just held up, they can check that out right now on probcause.com. And I want to actually show folks something because you did something dope. And I want to ask how you pulled this off, because I did, you know, I hyped you up. I called you an innovator, right? This is your album cover.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to play this and people can see for themselves. This is on your Instagram. So basically you're using some sort of visual search with the camera on the phone to unlock an animated, like augmented reality album cover, right?
That's right. Yep. It's an AR augmented reality animation that's triggered by the album artwork. And I change this every now and again. So if you own the vinyl, I'll like throw little hidden messages in there, and you know, people can get direct line of communication to Prob Cause through the album art.
That's super dope. So it's like living album art.
Yeah, constantly evolving.
Had you done that before? What inspired that, and how did you pull it off? Was there an app that you used or somebody you reached out to?
There's a few different variations of that app out there. The one I use is called Artivive. But there's a handful. It doesn't really matter which one you use. It's more about if you animate it properly, it looks dope. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like all these different apps are kind of require the same thing.
That's awesome, man.
Quick plug, me and Ruben have a similar vibe of a project that we're working on. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that album artwork, that's what kind of like triggered it for me. So I was at Juggernaut and I was like, yo, check this shit out, man. Like, this dude is dope. This is my homie Prob. They're like, yeah, we know Prob. I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. And that's where kind of like the idea was born there, where I was just like, yo, this shit needs to go on a hoodie, man, because you know what I'm saying? And then
So
that's when I hit you up. I was like, yo, check it out.
So for anybody,
we're on some hoodies, some tee, we're working on basically our augmented reality clothing, you know, clothing that animates when you rock it.
That's dope. So right now I could like put my phone on Ruben and see Barry, you know, hitting the spliff, right? Something like that.
Right, exactly.
That's dope. And for anybody that's not familiar, because we all have Chicago roots and background, but Juggernaut is a shop that Ruben's talking about that's very well known in Chicago for streetwear culture and supporting the arts and coming up with cool collaborations with artists and things like that. So are they partnering with it, or was that just coincidental?
Possibly. We talked to them about it.
TBD.
If not for this, definitely in the future. But you know, I've been talking to them about what crypto is, how to utilize, and I almost want to say that I want them to accept crypto, and not just them, but like, you know, everyone everywhere we shop should have the option. This just opens it up for everything.
I love that, man. Man, we definitely need to get a decent coin AR hoodie going on, man. I could see the coin spinning, something like that. So I'm gonna be
quarters, bro. Me in the corner flipping quarters.
There you go. Pitching quarters.
So Prob, let me ask you, man, with the Moonflower EP, did that come about during this COVID era, or was that something you guys were planning beforehand? And how was the timing of everything? Did you have to adjust plans because of COVID or no?
No, COVID actually allowed for the project to happen. I had written most of the songs, like a lot of the lyrics, I had written like before I had any of the production for it. I was in Thailand right before COVID hit, and I was doing a lot of like writing there, very inspired there. Wow. And so I wrote a lot of the lyrics while I was in Thailand pre-COVID. And it's funny because a lot of the lyrics feel like very, it feels like I'm talking about like the pandemic and all the shit that happened within the past year. But I was just talking about life in general, and it happened to really like make sense in the context of everyone being locked down.
That's wild. So how has it been, the past year? Because I know, you're very well known for your live performance, right? And incorporating, your rapping skills, your DJ skills, instrumentation. So how has it been for you to adjust over the past year when that is sort of, taken away from you a little bit?
Yeah. At first it was hard just because so I play with a DJ named Grizz, and I do all the vocals for him. And we have like a live band together, right? So there's like a few of us, but I'm like the MC for it. So we had all these amazing shows planned. His project, our project was really blowing up. We were about to play like Coachella, Bonnaroo. We had all these amazing festivals that summer. So that was really hard to swallow because I was looking forward to playing my first Coachella and doing all these big shows, and then obviously shit went down and it was like, we're all locking down. Fortunately for me, I have this visual art side to me, and I've really got to explore that during the lockdown. I've also pretty much toured nonstop for the last like 10 years, man. Like one thing, whether you like my music or not, everyone in Chicago will tell you I'm a hard fucking worker. You know what I mean? I'm always on the road, always grinding. So it's been nice to have a little bit of time not touring, to be honest.
And I forgot in my intro, you've toured with Chance the Rapper, Steve Aoki, Lil Dicky. You've had features with major artists. So anybody, like you said, anybody who knows should know that you are like probably one of the hardest working artists in all of Chicago. So props to you, brother. And like the way that you sort of evolved, or at least from the outside looking in, the way you've pivoted in the past year is super impressive. Have your fans, did they all know how multidimensional you were, or have you gotten responses of people that kind of didn't realize you were so talented visually?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the diehard fans knew, because I've been selling like prints and some of my visual artwork for a while. I think maybe some of the fans on the like peripheral weren't that aware, and now I think they have a better understanding.
Right.
And now with the NFT stuff, obviously, like I think everybody's becoming aware that visual artwork, animation, it's a big part of what I do.
And we're going to get to the whole NFT scene, and we're going to go into that in depth. And I think I think when you drop your next musical project, I think you're now going to have newer fans that came to you because of your visual artwork that are going to be like, whoa, dude raps too. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's going to be really cool. But in terms of the live performance, I want you to talk about something that I saw online. You actually you performed a DJ set, if I'm not mistaken, in basically virtual reality, or like what we would call the metaverse, in this this computerized virtual world called Decentraland, right? So can you, for anybody that doesn't have any idea what we're talking about, can you explain what is Decentraland?
Yeah. If you don't know, you should check it out because it's cool and everyone's gonna be talking about it in the next few months. It's basically just a virtual reality world. You have an avatar. People from all over the world buy land, build art galleries, cool museums, just weird structures. It's basically this virtual world that you can just like go explore, walk around in. It sounds so nerdy, but like it really is some cool shit. People are doing really innovative things within those spaces. So yeah, you can buy like wearables for your avatar, go meet up with people, you can basically do what we're doing now, but within the setting of like a virtual reality space. You could have like open meetings where people could literally like walk in with their avatar and you all just talk. It's like Ready Player One, like it really is that. Yeah.
And so I was actually looking online last night. They sell plots of land, right?
Yes.
And you can buy a plot of land right now. I think the cheapest one I saw was like the equivalent of like $6,000, right? And it goes up from there.
Yeah.
And
when
so
I was getting into it, it was like 500, $600 for a plot of land, I think.
did you buy any? Do you own any
7
land?
months ago. No, I don't.
Okay.
I wish I did.
Man, I'm saying we need
They
to
also
open a
have a
venue.
coin.
Omo.
They also have a coin.
Yeah, they do. Mana.
They have their own
That's popping
cryptocurrency
as well.
And
yeah,
so
I got some of that. I did buy some of that early.
I got a little bit.
I had paper hands, G. I had paper hands, bro.
Oh man.
I bought a bunch, and then I was like, this ain't moving fast enough, man.
Yeah.
I
So
look
when
back
Ruben
at
says,
it now, and I'm like, it's very salty.
when Ruben says he has paper hands, when he says he has paper hands, he means he has weak hands, which means he had some, but he sold it, so he doesn't have it anymore.
I got them diamond hands, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know what? I put it in Bitcoin, bro. So
okay, well, you know,
I don't take L's. No L's, baby.
No L. Yeah.
No L's club.
So Prob, take us through this, man, because I saw you tweeted. I was doing my research. I was basically just investigating, and I saw you tweeted at Decentraland, like, I don't remember, sometime last year maybe, or maybe it was even earlier, and you said, I want to do a set in Decentraland. I want to perform there. And then all of a sudden you did a DJ set in a virtual casino in Decentraland, right? So how does that go from a tweet to virtual reality?
Man, so somebody hit me up. It was really just like the crypto Twitter community, you know, like I tweeted that, a bunch of people responded and tagged people in it. And all of a sudden, I can't remember dude's name, but what the guy who runs the casino basically reached out, hit me up with the email, was like, would love to have you come play. And it just happened from there.
And so a casino is like a great example of people buying land and then literally building virtual businesses there, right? So there's like arcades, casinos where you can go in and you don't have to own land, but you could go in and you could spend your Decentraland cryptocurrency, which is called Mana. You could spend it there to gamble or play games and things like that. And so you're there DJing while people are having a good time, while people are hitting the virtual slots and things like that. What is that like? Like, what's the vibe? Had you ever done anything like that before? And how does it compare to real life? You know what I mean?
I mean, I was just playing blackjack the whole time, to be honest.
So it's like basically like if you were really DJing at a casino, you're enjoying the atmosphere just as if. Is anybody bringing you drinks?
So
Do you have anybody at the crib?
I had to pre-record my set to do it. So like it wasn't live for this one. So I pre-recorded the set, so I was just playing.
Nice.
And I do these things, they're DJ sets, but I animate them. So I'm like a cartoon DJ. So I was literally watching myself as an avatar in Decentraland, watching the cartoon version of Prob on the like screen DJing, which is like super meta and trippy to think about.
Right.
But yeah, I was just chilling playing blackjack, and you know, people would come up to me that says my name over my head in Decentraland. So people come up to me, and you know, you have like a message board so you could chat with people, or you can have the voice on so you could talk to people like that. And they're just like, "What's up, Prob? Like, love this song. What song is this?" And I'm just like interacting with everybody, you know.
Bro, you were living the dream. That's like, you know, when somebody wakes up and like, man, I wish I could send somebody to work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yes, that was you. You over here playing blackjack, like,
yeah,
fight, yeah.
Absolutely.
Go.
So you're like I said, man, you're a true innovator. I think that's super forward thinking and visionary. Have you guys talked about doing a follow-up? Like, are we going to see more of that?
Yeah, I was supposed to actually do one a couple weeks ago. I got busy and couldn't put a set together, so I delayed it, but I'm going to do another one in the next few weeks. It's kind of like, I feel like now it's an open invite thing with this dude who's basically like I think they're Wednesdays that you want to play. The thing is, it's on universal time. So like, I think it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you know, because it's like 9 p.m. universal time.
That messed me up, man.
UT was a thing, but that's what they use in crypto world.
Me neither. I was gonna attend. Like, I saw you tweeting and promoting it, and I had it like in my mind, like I'm gonna tune in. And for whatever reason, I didn't even look at the time zone. I just figured like it's going to be at nighttime, you know, in the US. And then when I went on, I was like, oh, it's over. Like it's been over.
Bro,
But
I was hitting you up. I thought it was at nighttime too. I
I
hit you up.
know.
I was
I
at Whole
remember
Foods,
talking to you
dog.
right after it was done. I was like, oh, you missed.
See, I was at Whole Foods, like shopping, you know what I'm saying, for Golden Crisp apples, like
Yeah.
whatever.
I was about to be, you know, I was trying to get some door juice, see if you could get me to the front of the line, give me a drink ticket, something.
That's
You
the
know, but it
coolest
was
thing,
over.
right? You ain't gotta wait in line at the casino in Decentraland. No lines.
Totally. So, bro, I want to talk about, you know, I think a lot of people are going to be watching this episode, a lot of artists probably just based on like me and Ruben's network. And a lot of people are probably hearing about NFTs. They're probably starting to, if they haven't heard about it, you know, they're late, but they're going to be hearing about it like this year.
Yeah.
So, and you've been, as far as I can tell, you've been really crushing it. So can you help folks understand what the hell is an NFT?
Yeah. I can't wait to send everybody who's been texting me to this link. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's basically a digital collectible. Think about it that way.
Okay.
From your favorite artist, from your favorite musician, whoever wants to tap into the space. And essentially you are transferring this digital token from your wallet to the collector's wallet. And most of the time they're paying for it with a cryptocurrency, and it's usually Ethereum, but it fluctuates depending on what the marketplace is. So there's a bunch of different marketplaces where people sell NFTs. Same thing as like Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud, right? Instead of those, you have Maker's Place, Super Rare, Rareable, and a bunch of other platforms. Some of them you don't have to apply. It's just like SoundCloud. You can upload your art, pick a price, and put it on the internet, and people can have the option to buy it. And that's pretty much like the basics of it.
Okay, hold on. That's a lot, right? You threw a lot at them real quick. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit, frame by frame. Okay, so you started out, you said it's a non-fungible token, and I know half the listeners, you lost them right there. So let's break that down, right?
It almost doesn't even. Yeah. I feel like whoever like was marketing these things like just didn't come up with a good name for it.
They were definitely more on the tech side than the creative side, but what it's really doing is bringing both together, right? So.
Totally.
So non-fungible, right? If you were to look up in the dictionary, fungible means like fake or able to be impersonated or able to be faked or able to be plagiarized, manipulated, things like that. So we're talking,
yeah.
So we're talking about something that cannot be manipulated or impersonated, right? Or fabricated, that sort of thing. And by token is sort of kind of leftover. A leftover word from the world of cryptocurrency, right? But normally with cryptocurrency, you're just sending money or what people are using as money. But with these non-fungible tokens or NFTs, it's not just money. You're able to attach a file, like a digital file, whether it's an image, a photo, a JPEG, or a GIF, or a movie, or a song, or some sort of digital piece of artwork to it, right? That's sort of the idea. And that way, when I send it to you, or like when I buy an NFT from Prob, it's sort of like a digital certificate of authenticity, right? So I know, and the whole world can look online and see that I literally bought it from the source, from the creator, and I didn't just take a screenshot. I didn't just download it from, I don't know, there's not Napster anymore, but you know what I mean? I didn't just pirate the song or whatever. I paid for it from the artist.
It is transferring. There's a contract that takes place, and it's transferring ownership from me to whoever is buying the NFT, right?
Okay. So that's like the technical aspect of it. So for the artists out there that don't care about cryptocurrency and they don't care about, the technicalities of it, why should an artist care about this? What problems does it solve, and what advantages does it give you as a creator?
Yeah, I mean, I think, God, there's so many, but one of the things to think about, just to reel it back a little bit further, if you look at the evolution of music, you have like tapes and vinyls and CDs, and eventually it went to MP3s, right? Same thing with books, you know, you have like the hard paperback books or newspapers. Some people still want those things, of course. Like I like to read a paper book, but a lot of people read it on a Kindle or an iPad. So this is kind of just the natural progression. And we're just applying that to digital artwork. So
Right.
it's not that big of a surprise that it would take place in this form. Of course, paintings will still exist. Of course, physical, you know, pieces of art will still exist, but this is just a different evolution of it. Or iteration of it. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. And now there's also, because you mentioned that it's sort of it's using technology to create and enforce a contract, a smart contract, right? So you can say, I'm going to sell a piece of art and I want commission every time it's resold, right?
Right.
So
One of the many benefits, right? So when you sell a piece as the artist, you set a royalty on it. Every platform is different. On Rarible, I think you can go up to 50%. I usually set mine at 10%. But say I sold an NFT to Mig or Ruben or whatever, and somebody else wanted to buy that from them, and so they upped the price a little bit, sold it, I would get a commission on every time there's a sale on the secondary or tertiary market and so forth.
right. And you can see the record of who bought it, right?
Right, which actually adds to the value sometimes. Because say like Mark Cuban bought one of my NFTs, all of a sudden that NFT has some value because of the collector that holds it, right? So then when he goes to sell it, all of a sudden all my work has more value because Mark Cuban, you know, and you can't, this is validated on the ledger, they call it, you know, you can see that Mark Cuban was an owner of that NFT.
Right. Have you used that to help with any like marketing? Like what I'm wondering is, are artists, if I can see who's buying artwork, or if I can see who likes portraits, you know, or a certain style, do I then start like using that to reach out to people and know who might be interested in my artwork? You know what I'm saying?
I haven't done it like that before. I'm sure there's like some thought behind doing it that way. But yeah, I haven't used it for that necessarily. I think about it more as like, you know, like you said, there's this authenticity to it, right? So like a big problem it solves, especially in the traditional art world, is that people forge like the master's works all the time, like Picasso's, Basquiat's, constantly being forged. It's a huge problem. This sets a new precedent going forward for artists, where their work can no longer be forged as an NFT. That prevents it because it is coming directly from me. Undeniably, you see it in the ledger and the history from where it's being uploaded from. And all of a sudden, it's undeniably from Prob Cause. No one else could upload it from the same Ethereum address.
Totally. And you know what's crazy? I don't know. I think I've talked to Ruben about this, but you two talking to each other on Twitter about this subject is really how I learned even to pay attention to it. I was getting into the NBA Top Shot, which is like the NBA is selling these things as like basically virtual trading cards. But I saw you two going back and forth online and, you know, promoting each other, or, you know, talking about your artwork, Prob, and coming up with ideas and things like that on Twitter. So how did you two start, you know, talking? Was that going back to that Juggernaut story, Ruben, or were, you know, how did you guys start, you know, really getting into or finding out that the other was into it?
It was kind of, I was checking out, you know, I'm probably, how long I known you, bro? Maybe like over 10 years,
bro.
Yeah.
Like yeah, a minute.
Yeah.
Over 10
over
years.
A decade.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, you know, I always, you know, looked up to Prob because he works really hard. He always been hustling the same as myself. So you just run into people that have that same, you know, mentality, and you don't always get to work with them just because life, or, you know, you guys are working in different directions. But I always thought he was dope at everything he does. And it's just like, damn, bro, you're doing mad dope shit. So with this, you know, I think I looked at the tiger artwork first.
Yeah.
The samurai tiger.
Yeah.
And I got a couple commissions maybe off you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I had to do something for my son, and then something for me. And then you dropped, you know, the tiger was already had the AR stuff on it. So I was already, you know, my little brain was already moving and shaking. And then the album was kind of, I think, when I hit you up. I think I was in the store, bro, when I hit you up.
Yeah, the Tiger was the first one I did. It was a print, just like a old fashioned 8.5 by 11 print that I sold on my website, and I put the AR on it. So like if someone bought the print, they could hang it up on their wall and it would animate. And that was like right when the NFT stuff was starting. Like I hadn't really fully entered the space yet. I was kind of like I think the Tiger was like probably the second NFT I dropped actually. So. It was early on in.
So I got to ask you about this, bro. This is wild to me, and to anybody that's listening right now. Now is when, if we didn't have your attention before, I'm pretty sure you're going to pay attention right here, because you have this. You've collaborated with Grammatic. You've worked with Grammatic in the past, and first of all, I want to ask you. You guys have a song that's, I think, about 3 or 4 years old called Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah,
right? It's like a 2017 song, I think.
I think 2016 even maybe.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of our viewers, they might not be super aware, but Satoshi Nakamoto, he or they or she or they are the ones that invented Bitcoin. Okay, and they're anonymous. That's a probably a fake name, most likely.
Right.
And so you guys made this song called Satoshi Nakamoto, and then 3 or 4 years later, in 2021, Grammatic comes to you, I assume, and he says, "Hey, bro, I have an idea. I have a couple new songs that I want to drop. I got 2 new singles that I want to drop, and I want to sort of package a few songs from the vault, including this 2016 song, Satoshi Nakamoto." And he wants to do it with NFTs. Okay, so you take it from there. What happens then, and when did you get this call? What's going through your mind as you get this call? And where we're going with this story is it leads to a huge release, a huge drop. I'm not going to give away all the details, but you take it from there.
Yeah, we've been working together for a while. He's pretty big into the crypto space, so he was already well aware of the Bitcoin craze before everybody else was. And we made that song, Satoshi, and it was only natural to drop it as an NFT. So it was pretty much all of our minds were in the same place. Yeah, and it came out, and I think it exceeded our expectations how well it did, and really is a game changer, to be honest, for all musicians, all artists who have any doubt about the power of NFTs, the life-changing power of NFTs.
Right.
So we sold it. Each copy was worth, you had to pay $2,500 for one NFT.
Right.
It was an open edition, so it was 5 minutes long. As many people could buy it in 5 minutes. And what is it? 361 editions were sold in 5 minutes at $2,500.
Okay, so you guys, you have a song, you have this song. It's been around for a few years.
Made new visuals for it.
You packaged it with brand new visuals. That's key, right? Because so that adds a new dimension to it. And these NFTs, they tend to be very visual at this point. More people are known for visual NFTs than just audio at this point.
So when this came out, it was one of the first like music video NFTs.
Right. And did you do the visuals?
Who made the visuals?
This dude K&D.
Okay, it's dope.
Yeah,
it's super dope. And so for anybody at home, all right, get your calculator out, get your iPhone, get your abacus, whatever, take your socks off, whatever you got to do to count this real quick. You guys said, we'll sell to as many people as want to buy in the entire world. We'll sell as many as anybody wants, but we're only going to make it available for 5 minutes. So that's why it's an open edition. Okay.
Right.
And you said, we're going to ask for 2,500 US American dollars.
Right.
And you sold in 5 minutes, you sold 361 of them, which, if my math is correct, means that in 5 minutes, you guys made, you brought in $902,500. Is that right?
That's right.
So 5 minutes. So is that that was a good day, I'm guessing, right? Like what was that? What did you expect to, what did you have any idea?
Man, I knew it was gonna be dope. I didn't know it was gonna be like that, to be honest.
So like this was what was the date of this again? This was very recent, or in the past couple months, right?
Yeah, it was like 5-6 weeks ago.
5-6 weeks ago.
This just happened.
Okay. And
since then our record has been broken, but you know what I mean? I'm coming back for the crown.
I like it. I like it.
Hey, I hit it first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Ray J said, man.
And you know what's crazy, Prob? Let me go full screen here. You know what's crazy? We got a song together from like back in the day. I don't know if you knew that.
You see this guy?
So for those of you at home that don't know, for those of you at home that don't know,
Prob Internet producer, right?
What's that?
Hood Internet produced it?
We have a song together that the Hood Internet produced. The challenge is it's a remix. And if you think I haven't already called the band, if you think I haven't already had the conversation with the band on and on, the bass player is a good friend of mine, Ryan Estwing. Bro, I already put that bug in his ear, like, bro, let me show you this link featuring Grammatic and Prob Cause, because we need to talk to your ex-manager or your ex-label or whatever the publisher is. Anyways, I'm just teasing. But first of all, bro, congrats. That's like crazy successful. It's crazy historic. In this whole NFT world, there's a lot of people trying to say that they did something first, like, Rolling Stone called Kings of Leon the first rock and roll album on NFT. I don't know if that's true. It's probably not true.
It's not. Definitely not. And ours definitely was not the first NFT music video. Many people have done that. Like, exactly. This space has existed for years before us. So that's kind of my point, is like, I'm not an expert historian on the matter, so I'm not prepared to say that you guys were the first to do this, but the level of success that you did, and not only success, but I think the storyline of like, oh, you wrote this song almost 5 years ago called Satoshi Nakamoto, that's visionary and that's forward thinking. Oh, you packaged it with visuals that happen to look absolutely dope. That's super. Like, this isn't just something you guys slapped together, after a conversation, you know what I mean? So I think you guys are so deserving of the success. And when I really saw this and understood the magnitude of it, I was really proud of you, bro. And I could not be more happy for you. So congrats. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
So with that, okay, now I want to get into, I want to talk about some of your visual artwork, okay? And this is going to be a little bit.
Let me say one more thing real quick, because for any for like musicians who are listening to this, trying to figure out how they can incorporate this, because like this one was really if other artists could do a small fraction of this, it's still life-changing. Think about, so like Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't know, but it probably has a couple million plays on Spotify. That really is not worth anything. You know what I mean? So I think one of the biggest things, if you take nothing else away from hearing me talk on here, the one thing is that your art has value, and it has more value than all of the power structures have told you that it has for your whole career, unless you're like, an exception to the rule. Right. So rather than selling your music and letting it be streamed for fractions of a fraction of a penny, think about it a little bit differently and sell your artwork for what it's valued at to less fans, but for a higher value. So like, one thing that I've always been a fan of, a philosophy I've always been a fan of, is like the 1,000 true fans. I don't know if y'all know about this, but it's basically, you have 1,000 true fans who are willing to spend $100 a month on you, basically, or even less than that. But rather than having 1 million fans who are really willing to spend like $1 on you, you have 1,000 true fans who are willing to buy anything you put out, who are diehard, who are supportive of everything you do. So I think NFTs are a really good space for that philosophy, because you build up just like a core base, who will support you, and you put your work out for what you believe its value is, $300, $400, $500 for a song, rather than streaming it for basically nothing. And flip it on its head a little bit and take the power away from like the Spotify's, and it takes a little bit of a mentality shift to get your head around it. But once you do, it's the way of the future, man. You know, you put out an album and maybe only 100 copies of that album are sold, but you're going to make more money off those 100 copies than you would off the thousands of people who streamed it on Spotify. Fuck Spotify.
Bro, that's so well said. I had a couple questions that I was going to ask you that you already answered. Like I was going to ask you, you know, with all these new platforms for NFTs, what is the future of Instagram, Spotify, etc.? I was going to ask you, how should artists think about the future? But you just nailed it to me, because like we've all been conditioned to crave that dopamine hit that we get when we get a like or a comment or a notification, right? And that is to replace the actual compensation that a creator deserves for their artwork. So instead of you getting properly paid for every play that you get on Spotify, you know, you get a little dopamine hit when you get an update of like how many listeners you had in a month or whatever, even though they're not really paying you properly for that.
Right.
So what's great now is, I assume, like we talked about, you and Grammatic are probably going to get residuals if any of those 300 or 400 people that bought that Satoshi Nakamoto NFT, if they sell it, which, you know, in the future, that thing is going to have historical value for all the reasons I described. Okay, like you're telling, you know, right. it's about the inspired by Bitcoin back in 2016. That's historical value. It made over $900,000 in the infancy of NFTs. That's historical value. So 20, 30 years from now or less, it could even be in the next few years, I could totally see that hanging up in the MoMA. I could see it hanging up at any museum as a piece of history. And so it's going to have resale value even greater than the $2,500 that the original buyers paid for it. And so you, not even just you, but I'm assuming potentially like your descendants could be getting checks and getting paid for generations off of something that you created in the year 2016. And Spotify is not fucking with that. You know what I mean?
Nope. No, that's totally it though. Yeah, you know, you get, like we were talking about earlier, you get a royalty off of it. So we get residuals every time it's resold. It's already, I don't know, I saw like that it was reselling for a little bit more already. And that just goes up with time. If you believe in this NFT space, which I do. So yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. It's a game changer for musicians. And I think a lot of us have to accept the shift. You know, it's going to be a lot of people who stick to Spotify because they love that they have 100,000 monthly listeners. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what does 100,000 listeners mean, bro? I have 250,000 monthly listeners. I don't get paid that much for that amount of monthly listeners. So my whole focus has shifted. And, you know, like you were saying before, people posting for for likes and hearts or whatever, you know, for art Twitter, which is a thing. The art Twitter people, they would just make work trying to get retweets, right? Like that's the goal, is post art so that it gets retweets. And like, God, man, it's crazy to see it shift from that to now I'm making art to sell as an NFT. Fuck the retweets. I don't care if nobody retweets it. As long as somebody buys it or makes a bid on it, that's the goal. So it's a really cool thing to see. I discovered NFTs from just like watching artists on Twitter who I was always a fan of, who posted their work all the time, transition into it. And I kind of followed suit from them. Fuocious was actually the first person that I learned about NFTs from, who's become like an NFT star. This kid's like dope. 17, 18 years old and selling for millions of dollars.
Do you mean like learning from afar, or have you?
Yeah, from afar. Like I've never spoken to him. I don't even think he follows me. Like we never talked before, but I just saw that he was like starting to sell NFTs. I was like, what is this? So
now you're like the Mr. I imagine you've got a whole crop of artists that see you as like Mr. Miyagi, right? That are flooding your inbox and trying to learn the ropes.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn how to say no.
The power of no is real.
A lot of people in the DMs, but you know, I do my best to get back to everybody and try to like share this knowledge because I feel like it's really important. Totally. But at some point you gotta take some time for yourself. So I'm hoping that this conversation we're having now can be like a go-to for artists, a resource for them.
So, bro, I want to shift to some more of your visual work. This is a super recent. Well, I don't want to overstate it because I've seen you doing these for a few weeks, but this is like some of your latest work. You dropped this series called Crypto Lucy's.
Yeah.
It started out, from what I saw, it started out as sort of an exercise. I think you described it as to sort of loosen up loosen up those artistic muscles and just do something left-handed, which you're naturally right-handed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so you start doing portraits left-handed, and then I think it just looks like the response on Twitter was tremendous, and everybody wanted to know how they could get their portrait done by you. So what was that like, and how has this grown and evolved over the past couple of weeks or months?
Yeah, they started as just this fun thing I did on the side. I was making all these tight, like really intricate illustrations and doing all this animation that was just like taking the life out of me, and I needed something that was a little more liberating, more like painting, just trying to get loose. So I just started drawing with my left hand and doing a portrait of my buddy. The first one, I just uploaded the first one, which is Muzzy, which is like the first one I ever did. And it's this one. That's like the first. You can see how much better I've gotten with the left too, actually.
So this is a friend of yours, personal friend.
Yeah, he's a friend. He plays guitar in the Grizz band, and just a homie of mine. So yeah, I drew this with my left hand, and I just started drawing my friends in this style and just sending them portraits. Like I wasn't commissioning any of them. I was only doing them for free for people, just like spontaneously hitting their inbox with these drawings.
Right.
And like you said, the response was really cool. A lot of people were hitting me up to do them, asking if they could commission them. So I decided to turn it into a NFT project where basically you can buy a commission. You buy a commission slot. It was actually the most efficient way I could think of to do it anyway. Like NFTs really helped me make this a digestible project, because like so many people were hitting me up. I didn't know how to like organize who would get one first and second and third. So I basically opened up these commission slots. You buy the commission in the form of an NFT, and then I airdrop you yours when it's done via this platform called OpenSea, which is kind of like the big market. It's like the marketplace where all the platforms, God, what's the best way to describe OpenSea?
It's like an aggregator.
Aggregator, right. It's just like the place where all NFTs are minted.
So there's like
platform.
There are a lot of sites where if you're an artist, you could go and mint or turn your art into an NFT. This is sort of like the Switzerland of them all, right? This is like the Walmart of them all, or I don't know what the right term is, but this is pulling in NFTs from all these sites. So this is sort of a one-stop shop, is OpenSea here. Yep. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, this one is super dope. This might be the dopest one to me. It's a good looking guy. You know what I mean? You had a
number one too, bro.
Hey, I'm saying, you had a good looking model subject right there. Yeah. So props to you, bro. You snapped on this one for sure. So are you still doing these? I think you sold out. You sold out of this
immediately. We sold out. Yeah, we sold out pretty quickly. And I'm still waiting on 2 people to send photos from that first drop, but I'm gonna drop the next pack on Saturday. Or that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm gonna see how much life I got left in me after.
So I'm gonna show people real quick when you say pack. So this is what you did. You had been doing these. You had been doing these over the course of weeks or months. Yep. And so you had at least 20 of them here. Yep. You turned this into sort of a collage, and you said, and I'll show it right here. You basically said, if you purchase this, then I'll make you, as the customer, I'll make you a custom portrait, right?
Exactly.
And so it's a great idea, and you're saying that you're potentially going to drop another pack soon, and that'll be the best opportunity for anybody listening here that wants to support and wants to get their portrait. That'll be something they want to look out for. Yeah,
that's right. It'll be the Crypto Lucy pre-sale pack number 2, and that's available on Rarible. Yeah, I'm thinking Saturday.
And you know what? I want to go to Rarible real quick. Hopefully I can find it. Like, even though sometimes on these sites, I feel like the search function is not super easy. But I want to show some of your other artwork because this is quite different than your normal, you know, some of your other style of visual work, right? What are you using for those left-handed portraits? What are you doing those in?
Oh shit, did somebody buy one of those?
Oops.
Nice. Crazy. I use a variety of things. I usually am using Procreate, which is a really dope program for the iPad. Yeah, this is all different stuff.
Yes, this is like before, some of this work is like predates these Lucy's, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
But people probably put other stuff for sale more recently, so.
And is this the print? Was this what began as a print that Ruben was describing?
Yep. So if you put your phone to it, it'll animate if you in the Art of Vive app.
That's dope. And does that work for like all phones? Like I have a Google Pixel. Will it work for a Pixel and it works for iPhone and everything?
Works for everything.
Man, okay, we're gonna get that link from you because I think that's if you don't mind sharing some of your secret sauce, I think that whole like use your camera to animate something is super dope. I would love to. We're gonna put that link in the description of this video for anybody that is interested in experimenting with that. So I bought the bear. I love the bear.
Yeah.
I wish the Bears had given me something to be proud of instead of signing Andy Dalton. But this really just screams Chicago to me, the way that you did the bear and the bull as sort of a combo or a pairing here. My internet's being a little slow. But anyways, bro, what you're doing with the visuals and with the animations is amazing. Now, I want to ask you, all right, I think we talked about this, but I just want to double check. I think we might have talked about the potential for somebody listening to this interview to potentially maybe get their hands on a custom portrait, a portrait of themselves, right?
Yeah.
So Prob is you know, he's really on the come up. I think your work is going to I think the value of your work is going to continue to increase because you're early, you've been doing historically significant work. And so for somebody watching this video, we haven't really talked about this or how we're going to do it, but I think one easy way to do it is you have to be subscribed to our channel. So you have to be subscribed to the Decent Coin YouTube channel. And you need to leave a comment. All right. You leave any kind of comment. It could be what you had for breakfast. It could be your favorite part of the interview, you know, your favorite Prob Cause song, whatever it is, but be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment. And we're going to pick somebody out there that Prob is actually going to make a custom portrait for, which is going to be very rare, and you're going to want to hold on to that because I think it's going to be a really dope profile picture, as well as you're going to have bragging rights for now and even increasingly as his work continues to appreciate and get discovered by new people.
You know what? I want to make a point off of what you said because I think it's one of actually the most important parts about NFTs for artists is that it creates this connection between the collector and the artist that has never really existed before, right? So all of a sudden it's in Mig's interest to promote Prob Cause's work because he's an NFT owner of mine, right? So the bigger I get, the more valuable the NFT that he owns gets. So all of a sudden you have this kind of symbiotic relationship between the artist and the collector that has never existed because middlemen and women have prevented that from existing and just eaten out of their, you know, slice of the pie, essentially. So what you have now is people who are incentivized to promote the artist and artists who are growing because their collectors are pumping them. You know what I mean? Right. So there's a really interesting dynamic there. And I think NFTs created it. And, you know, I think that's probably the most important part of all of it is this connection and community oriented structure that it's creating.
Very well said, man. I could not agree more.
Can you imagine Eminem Stan?
Bro, if Stan owned an Eminem NFT, which is
I bought all the open editions.
I bought all the open editions and you still won't get me back.
Right. It's coming, bro. Be
Bro, what
careful,
Eminem
man.
would hit him back though. That's how you get Eminem to hit you back.
Hey,
I talk to
Absolutely.
all my collectors.
you
You
got his
know
wallet. You're gonna be on his wallet, like, hey, fam.
exactly.
Now, I want to ask you, Prob, that actually inspired a question in my mind, because one thing I see a lot of smart people talking about is how NFTs are going to be the future of fan access, right? And so it's already sort of like that, right? Like if you buy Crypto Lucy Pack 2 when it comes out, that's going to give you access to Prob, and you're going to be DMing with Prob because you're going to have to send him a selfie or send him a photo, and he's going to turn that into a Lucy, a left-handed portrait, right? But like, you know, maybe not my favorite band, right? But what Kings of Leon did, they put out their NFT and they also sold some digital golden tickets. Okay. So if you bought one of their golden tickets, then you automatically get 4 front row passes, VIP treatment to all of their concerts for life. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you thinking about, you know, any sort of innovations like that for upcoming releases? Are there any upcoming releases that you can talk about in music or art or anything that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So a couple different things. One thing is ticketing will be all NFTs eventually, and that ticket that you purchase to like a festival or a show, that will get you, you know, for example, the DJ set, like 20 minutes after the show ends, that DJ uploads that set and only the ticket holders get that DJ's recorded set. Things like that, where you get kind of like exclusive access and rewards to the artist because you're a ticket holder, right?
Right.
So that's one application of it. I'm getting ready to release 2 NFTs, that are 2 new songs with an artist named Manic Focus. And we have a bunch of cool exclusive rewards, Zoom sessions that give you access directly to the artists. I don't want to like divulge all the details of that yet because someone's going to steal my idea, or, you know, maybe. But
you know,
be on the lookout for the next music NFT that me and Manic Focus drop.
you know what you need to do is you need to dust off another old song from the vault with a dope, you know, that has a dope feature, and package that, you know, and put that out into the world together with the new shit. That's how you'll really get them.
Yo, but the old songs, this is the other thing, is that if you look at, okay, so another way to look at NFTs is it's basically like stocks and collectibles combined, right? So like the older a collectible is, you want the MJ rookie card, right? That's the old one. You don't necessarily want like the you
Wizards.
might want like, yeah, right, exactly. So like think about that from the context of an artist's catalog, a musician's catalog. Like the older classic hits, that's what people want. So it all of a sudden gives like rejuvenation and new life to an artist's back end, basically, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been talking, in fact, to especially, like, I mean, all artists, but I've been having deep conversations with one photographer in particular, because like photographers, I mean, they just have hard drives full of great photos, right? And a lot of them they probably still own all the rights to, and they can do whatever they want with. So I think that's totally right. Like, you may not have been really active as a creator, you know, maybe life has taken you in other directions, but if you've got work sitting around that you still own the rights to, like, this is a brand new opportunity for anyone out there to take ownership of it and merchandise it in a way that they never had the control or the power to do before.
That's right.
So, bro, you know, there's a lot that we could talk to you about still. I have some other questions. Next time we have you on, in doing my research, I figured out you played a show in Costa Rica, which is Mi Gente. I want to ask you about that because I know that was lit. I wanted to ask you about Paint Coin, which is a cryptocurrency that I see you tweeting about a lot. But I think that for our audience, because we're going to have a lot of like crypto beginners and NFT beginners, I think this was a really, really good intro conversation to like just give people enough so that they can figure out if they want to dive deeper and do more independent research. So thank you so much. I think this is going to be a super valuable interview for people to watch, people that have been hitting your inbox, people that are artists and don't know where to get started. Any other final parting thoughts or things on your mind before we close it out?
I mean, just look into the NFT space. I think there's a lot of people who are putting misinformation out about NFTs because they're so disruptive to the industry. So I would say do your own research and look into the people who have been in this space for a long time. Because this is not a new thing. This has existed for years. People are just now discovering it. So, you know, people at Spotify and people at like major design houses, like
Right.
they're gonna do everything they can to take down NFTs because it's already making artists' rates go up, and that's the last thing that they want. So I encourage y'all to, if you're about like autonomy and independence in the music industry or the art industry, whatever industry you're in, I strongly urge you to look into how NFTs work and operate, because it's an amazing community and space.
Yes, sir. Well said. Ruben, you got any parting thoughts?
You know, man, just keep doing your thing, bro, and let's work.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Once again, Prob Cause, ladies and gentlemen, the eclectic, the indisputable, the irrefutable, you know, the inspirational. Make sure you guys check him out on Twitter. That's at Prob Cause. Stay out of his DMs, all right? He's working on a lot of stuff right now. So if you need more
hit me. It's all
information,
good. I'm a nice guy, you know.
Cool out though. Cool out a little bit.
Hey, cool out though.
but, you
I'm
know,
asking for foundation invites, man. I ain't got no.
yeah, make sure
More of
you're
those.
supporting the artists that you're trying to get advice from too. I know everybody's not in the same situation, but if you can support, if you can show love and support the artists, show your support, man. This is what NFT is all about, is enabling that sort of direct support between the fans and the creators. And on that note, this has been the first inaugural episode of the Decent Coin podcast. Myself, Mig Mora, my co-host, Regular Ruben, and the first guest, we could not have asked for a better guest, the one and only Prob Cause. Thank you, brother.
Peace
Peace out. We'll see you guys on the next side.
Peace.